to have Mr. Victor Caldwell on our show. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Glad to be here.
yeah, and you know what? It's always good when somebody come in from out of town because you hit it big. Somebody all the way from where they're coming from to come to Chattanooga, to come on your radio station. So thank you for the privilege, the honor to interview, because I do consider it a privilege and an honor to have someone of your stature here on our radio station. WPT is the only nonprofit, African American owned and operated radio station in Hamilton County. So
Wow.
we thank you for coming on our show to talk about all this great stuff that you got going on in your life. And we wish you the absolute best on your journey.
Thank you.
So Victor, tell us a little bit about you first, because a lot of people want to know who is this guy that don't know you. Tell us a little bit about you so that we can feel you a little bit as we move on to this interview.
Grew up in Chattanooga. We moved here to family when I was 7 years old. Um, Went to school, all the schools here, elementary, junior high school. Went to college at MTSU, which is in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. From there, I went to Nashville, graduated with an engineering degree, audio engineering. So that's kind of where it all started as far as getting into the entertainment business.
Okay, I want to go deep. Who your dad? I gotta go deep. Who's your dad?
Reverend Virgil Julius Caldwell.
Did y'all hear that? Reverend Virgil Julius Caldwell is his father, and you all know that he come from good stock. That's his daddy. And then I want to go a little bit more deeper. What high school did you graduate from? I want to connect the dots here.
I graduated from Brandon High School.
Okay, see, Brighton High School. Whoa, Brighton High School. You got your classmate in the house, and so we feel proud when we have someone from our high school famous. Yeah,
That's
you're
what I've
famous.
been
Yeah,
told
you're
sometimes.
famous. He's famous, you all. He's famous. Anybody that's a Grammy winner is definitely famous. And so I want to talk about, now that we got that out of the way.
Okay.
Everybody knows you now. Where was your first studio? And what was that?
First studio. That was the closet of the bedroom. Just according to where my brother and I could record and keep whatever noise out we needed to keep out. So sometimes the closet was the booth, or the bathroom may have been the booth sometimes. But this was in our bedroom
Wow.
when we were growing up.
Right. And we're in a booth now, and I'm gonna tell you,
It's a
and
little bit bigger though.
at first we went in the booth, y'all, because we started out, kind of like you started out. It was one big room and it was noise coming from everywhere. So I know what you mean by getting that little private booth area where you can
Right.
knock out all that noise. Um, so what studios have you, or what studios have you worked at? Some of the ones that people may or may not know.
Studios. Well, I guess if you're in the entertainment business, you might only know these places because of that. If you're not in it, you probably wouldn't know of any of them. I first graduated from college, a place called LSI Recording, which was in Nashville, Tennessee. And I was a staff engineer there, and I did that for 2.5 years. And after that, that's when I went independent. So, because I was playing also, so a lot of times where I would work then would be because of where the client wanted to work. So you pretty much just had to adapt to yet another studio, different console, different tape machines, and all that. And sometimes I was in LA because Sid and I used to mix some stuff out in LA at a place called the Record Plant.
Okay.
Um, and it varies from place to place, wherever we had to go.
Wow.
So you just adapt. The main thing was just learning different pieces of gear so that when you got there, even though you may have an assistant, you knew your way around it enough that you could do what you needed to do.
Yeah. So from that perspective, I guess all studios to some degree are equal, and then some are more superior than others. And you're adapting to whatever you got to work with and make it work. Your voice is everything. So
Yes.
you all can make the music sound the way it's supposed to sound no matter what studio you're at,
Well,
correct?
that's the attempt.
That's the tip, right? Right. So, what artists have you worked with? This is interesting because I kind of got some idea um, who you worked with.
A lot of different people.
What about Donnie McClurkin? I
Don,
heard you worked with Donnie. How was that?
Don, how was that? Once we get started, it's fine. Donnie was a little peculiar, just
Okay.
because you just had to get him there.
Hmm.
He seemed to miss flights a lot,
Okay.
But other than that, he was great to work with. You
Then
just
I
had
don't
to
feel
get him
bad,
there.
Donnie. They say that about me too, baby. I'm just get me there. I know what that feels like, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Donnie, Smokey Norfolk.
yeah. How was that with Smokey?
I mean, he's great. He he comes with a lot of chops himself. I mean, he's a great singer, but he's also a pianist.
Yeah.
So a lot of the ideas he's already kind of formed a lot of them. So it's just a matter of taking what he has already kind of laid out and okay, let's build on that and take it there.
Right.
So I mean, it's a lot of different people, and some of them didn't come with any playing capabilities, at least not that. They did it with their singing ability.
Okay.
Like we work with Brandy.
Yeah, Brandy.
Now,
Tell us about
and
Brandy.
she might play an instrument, but I don't know if she plays one because she just came strictly as a singer. She was
Okay.
there.
And her
So
family, some of her
yeah,
family members work with them as well.
her father and her brother,
Yeah,
because we were
yeah.
working on his particular record, her father, Willie Norwood. So that's how we ended up working with Brandy also. So
So I'm interested because you've made it. I say you've made it.
sounds like a song.
Yeah, you made it. Tell me how long you've been in the business. A lot of people think you just wake up one morning, you're successful, and it just happens overnight. But tell me how many years you put into this industry to get you where you are today.
Goodness gracious. I'm trying to where to start because it started just whenever you start the journey of this is what I want to do for a living. That's long before I ever made it into even college when
Right?
I
There you
decided that
go.
this is what I wanted to go into because I started in high school when I first played on a session playing the bass guitar, and after I saw all of what goes on in there, the bug kind of bit in. I
Right.
mean, I was already doing it at the house. Sid and I were doing it in the closet, doing all the recordings there, but not until you get into a place that has your consoles, the tape machines, the microphones, and all of a sudden you really see, okay, I see what else we could do if we had all of this. So it
Right.
kind of started then. And then, I went to school and you see more gear.
Wow. And I know your father, or
Mhm.
knew your father, and I know he was a heck of a saxophonist. And he played at one of my graduations. I used to own EW Professional Career Training Center,
Okay.
and we had graduations, and he performed at the graduation. He was amazing. I got to believe that he had a lot of influence on you in the music industry because he was amazing. Couldn't nobody play the sax like your dad.
Well, I mean, he was a sax player, but he was a piano player also. But my dad was a band teacher before we
Oh,
moved to Chattanooga. So if you know anything about band teachers, they usually know how to play a lot of instruments because they have the
right.
right parts out for all the band instruments.
Yeah,
So
okay.
he knew how to play a lot of instruments. So that just kind of trickled down into us. That's what we saw on a daily basis. And even on Sunday, that's what we saw because he would come out of the pulpit and go play the piano for the choir,
I remember that.
you
I
know.
remember that.
And then
Amazing.
sometimes playing the saxophone, he organized the church orchestra way back when also. So
Wow.
that's what I've been seeing, you know, all
All
my
your
life.
life, all
Yeah,
your life. So, that goes to show you all, if you're out there listening, that your parents have a big influence on how you turn out and sort of kind of can shape your future.
right,
Being exposed to that music and that lifestyle
right.
propelled you maybe to think about wanting to go into the industry. So tell me about who you toured with, because I'm interested in knowing that. Who you toured with?
I've done a little playing with BB and CC, a little of that,
Okay.
but I went out on the road with an act, the Imperials, contemporary Christian group Imperials for a short
Yes.
stint. Played with another artist by the name of Beth Nielsen Chapman. It's kind of a organic country. Um, I'm not sure how to categorize it, but I mean, she's also a great songwriter herself.
Mhm.
So, but most of my playing actually has been in the studio. It's just working on people's records, artist records, or some soundtracks, like for TD Jakes, working on a soundtrack for a book that turned into a movie, things like that.
Wow. So the soundtrack that you worked on that turned into a movie, can you tell us what that was and what movie that ended up being in?
Well, one was Not Easily Broken, was
Mhm.
one book that TD Jakes wrote that turned into a movie. My brother and I worked on The Bodyguard, which was
Oh,
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston. Which song was in that one that you all had something to do with?
Jesus Loves
Get out of here.
Me. So that's the one that's on that
Wow.
soundtrack. That's the one we did.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of just other sound. We worked on another one um, that's from Jakes because my brother and I also worked with TD Jakes' record label at one time,
Mhm.
Dexterity Records. I can't think of the name of the movie right now. It's a movie about marriage is all I can remember, but I can't remember the name of it right now. It slips my mind. But that was another soundtrack that we worked on.
Yeah. So now, who in your family? You got some folk in your family that's doing great things. And we're not going to talk about them today, and because it's all
It's
about you today. But is there somebody else in your family that sings or is musically inclined in your family?
only person I can think of right off the top of my head who claims singing would be my daughter,
Okay,
Ruby Camille.
Ruby Camille.
Yeah, that's the only
Okay,
other person. I don't know anyone else in my family who claims to be a singer, except for if you talk about like my brother's side,
uh-huh.
his wife, the wine.
Okay.
He's married to a whiner, so you got just a lineup of singers there.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh
as
yeah.
far as my mom and dad, and that trickled down, my daughter,
So
Ruby
you
Camille.
who don't know the wine. So if you know anything about gospel music,
Right.
you gotta know the wines. Come on. They famous, they've been all over the world. Everybody knows the wines. So how has we talked about this, how your parents have influenced your
Right.
music earlier. Um, what's in your plans? I know you got this album that you're promoting now that calls Can God Trust You?
Mhm.
We're going to be playing your music on our radio station day after day after day after day. It's an amazing album. What do you hope for in this new release? And what are some of the things that you've been told so far about it? What can we look for? What's so special about this album?
Well, I think everything I'm writing is special
Right.
until it gets out there and someone says it's not. But so it's not what
Give
you
us
think
a
it is.
reason to go buy it.
But
Give me my
but
appetite.
I mean, I just it's inspired by God. I
Yeah.
think that anything that's inspired by God is worth someone else hearing because I don't think He gives it to me to keep it. He gives it
Right.
to me so that it flows through me to someone else.
I love
So
it.
and I think the title of it is catchy, but it's also something that I think we just kind of run past it and read
Hmm.
because of where it derives from. It derives from the back of money, where it says,
And God we
in God we
trust.
trust." So I just flip that around and kind of put more meaning to what we say on that. Just kind of okay, what's the big picture of that a particular title, really?
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and I think that kind of relates to everybody, regardless if you are a gospel music listener or people who just listen to just music in general, any kind of music with lyrics.
Right. And I gotta ask you, who is your favorite gospel artist? I know you probably have more than one. You can list them, but but who influenced you and in your writing, and who are some of your favorite artists that's out there now?
You saying gospel artists or
Yeah,
just in
gospel. Well, it
general?
don't have to necessarily just be
Okay.
gospel because some people influence us and it's maybe their style. I don't know. So just who do you look up to in the industry, music
Well,
industry? That
that's
might
a
be
hard
a better question.
that's a hard one because it's according to the fact that I wear multiple hats. I've got we'll call them heroes of sections.
Yes.
'Cause when it comes to songwriting, I probably love Andre Crouch
Oh
as
yes.
far as just the lyrical content and
Hmm.
just the way he writes. Well, even the way he comes together with the music. But I kind of look at him as that lyric person. person.
Yes.
Musically, I was a big fan of Earth, Wind& and Fire, which was really Maurice White,
Yes.
to some,
Oh,
to
yeah.
some degree. It's a whole lot of things. That's like with Andre's lyric. If it's bass players, 'cause I play bass, there are a lot of different figures that I have listened to over my years that have kind of helped me to grow. And that, man, that's a host of people.
Will
It's,
you lay down,
Nathan Phillips, Nathan
Nathan? Oh, yeah,
Dees,
he's awesome. Mhm.
Marcus Miller, uh,
Yeah.
it's John Patitucci. So many guys. Jocko is that list, and it keeps growing because the younger, the younger bass players that are coming. I'm just like, "Oh, he's worth
He
listening to. Or
dope.
she's worth
Good.
listening to because I see a lot of female bass players. I mean, there's a lot of great musicians out there in general. And I listen to a lot of drummers. I'm a bass player, so I listen to how drummers and bass players mesh together, and just in general, I listen to how everything meshes together. So I'm kind of listening to everybody. I'm
Mhm.
listening to great keyboard players, great sax players, the lines they play, bass players, guitar players, horn section. Because I was a trumpet player, I grew up playing trumpet in junior high school and high school.
Okay.
So which is why I wear all the multiple hats because I got a lot of stuff flowing around in my head, and I have
Yes.
to put all that out some kind of way. So you listen to everybody to pull from everybody to kind of make who I am.
Right. So, um, as a professional, when you're growing into the profession,
Mhm.
there's always things that you learn that you wish somebody would have told you that would have saved you from making some of the mistakes and maybe shorten your journey to get to where you want to go a little sooner. If you were to give some advice to some young aspiring artist, musician, um, there may not be any shortcuts, but what are some of the things that you would tell them to do, kind of in the order of the things they need to do to actually reach their goal? Because there's so many people out there wanting to be where you are, and they're hitting brick walls. They don't have any mentors to kind of pull them up and show them which way to go. So if you were to give a roadmap, I guess that's the word I'm looking for, to someone aspiring to make in the music industry, what are some of the advice you would give to these young aspiring artists?
Oh, wow. That's a tough question. Well, first of all, I would say whatever your goal is right now is going to change probably because as you get closer to those, you start gaining. At least with me, I started gaining new things that I wanted to do because I became interested in a lot of different things as I get closer to the things that I wanted to achieve.
Mhm.
And next thing you know, because what I'm doing now is not what I always thought I would be doing. So it's a little different. It's hard for me, except for you just have to stay the course. And if you really want it bad enough, don't wait on someone to bring it to you.
Oh, there we go.
You've actually got to go get it, and
Did y'all,
whatever it
did
takes
y'all
to go
hear
get it.
that? Don't wait on somebody to bring it to you. If it's your goal, you got to go out there and get it. Someone say, take what's yours. Um, because nobody's going to give it to you. You got to take it. First of all, you got to get yourself in the right position.
Right,
Some people want to do X, Y, Z, but they're not in the right position. They don't have their game plan down. They just kind of all over the place. Get focused, um, and then go get what's yours. That may mean
yeah,
traveling, giving up some of your free time. I know you give up a lot of free time, things that you wish you could have been doing, maybe with the family.
right,
Maybe you cheated the family a little bit because you've been focused on making your goals because you knew at
right,
the end that your goal would make everybody happy.
right.
But it was the course that you had to take. So,
A lot of things have changed. I mean, I'm an adjunct at a college. I
mhm,
never thought I would be in a classroom teaching audio and teaching audio/music and how they work together. I never thought I'd be doing it, but circumstances put me in a situation where, okay, well, what are you gonna do? You
right.
still gotta pay bills.
Got to pay
S
those
so what
bills.
can you lean on? Okay, I have a college degree. Good thing I kept listening to mom and dad about, "You gotta get this college degree. You have to get educated." So that when the tables turn or something changes in your life, or when you have that experience that's like, "Oh, I had no idea this would happen.
You
Now
still can pay.
now what do I do?" So if you wanna have that B plan pop up all of a sudden that you never thought about, that happened to be the B plan. So I also teach.
Right. Did y'all hear that? He said your A plan is what your dream is, what you really want to be, and what you're focusing on being. But you better have a B plan. And my dad would always say, have A, B, C, and D. Just because things don't always work out the way you want it to work, and you need to be able to fall back on something,
Right.
reinvent yourself. Not have just one thing going as a stream of income, but two things, maybe three things, maybe four, maybe have four things
Right.
that you're good at that you can do to generate revenue, so you're not stuck just on
Mhm.
that one thing. When it doesn't happen, you just crash because that's what you got. You have no
Right.
other plans. And that's the wisdom for today. That's the word of wisdom for today. He is successful. He has he has made it. Yet he still says today he has a plan B, because when the bills have to be paid and you don't have the money maybe in plan A, you got to go to plan B. And so plan B may not be enough. So you may have to have plan C to go with plan B to put it together to make it work.
NA.
And A. That's
'Cause
right.
I'm still
While
doing
A
A,
is coming,
doing B.
plenty of people have to pay their way while they're working on goal one. They have to work, support
Right.
themselves while they were working on their, I call it game A plan.
Right.
Yeah, so don't think it's easy out there. Everybody know our glory, but they don't know the story. That's my favorite line. You may know my glory, but you don't know the story. So, and we hide it well because we've learned how to walk in grace, and the Lord gives us strength and the ability to walk through and navigate through the jungles of life and still hold ourselves because we have Him holding us. And when the Lord has you, you don't worry about it because you know it's going to be okay. And I tell people all the time, you may get to your destination quicker than me,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna still get to the destination, so it don't matter. I may have had to go through 5 more steps extra because maybe you were more advanced, right?
Well, it's about finishing the race,
It's
regardless
about
if I
finishing the
finish
race.
before you. 'Cause I don't know. I really don't know your story.
That's it.
So
So
focus on your own story and make sure you get there.
absolutely, absolutely. Is it in Tell us you got another album up
But
here,
that's the first one. That's the first
Vic,
CD.
called Hide Me.
BC.
BC, Hide Me. You all have got to go out there and find his music and purchase it. Tell us the places where we can go get your music. I know you got a lot of platforms, so can
Well,
you?
the main one is just all the sites where people go buy their music. iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, um, Spotify. It's all those main. It's 40 or 50. I can't even name all the ones that are available for
Mhm.
people to go and
To
purchase music.
download.
Yes, and the website, it should be there.
Give us the website,
bccaldwellmusic.com.
bccodwellmusic.com. And I don't want to put you out there. If somebody wants to get in contact with you, is that how they can get in contact with you?
Yes, there should be a contact tab on the website.
On the website. On the website.
Yep,
Yes. And
it's the website right
there you go. Victor VC Conwell. Let's see, I can't read. My eyes are bad,
there.
y'all.
That's
My eyes are
yeah. But the actually to get to it is vccaldwellmusic.com.
VC Caldwell
Music.com.
Music.com
Yeah.
is how you can reach him. And I would be remiss if I did not let you all know that in the studio is one of his biggest fans and supporters, which is my sorority sister. And you all know Scotty Caldwell. She's in the house. Scotty say, hey. Scotty's in the house, and another artist in the family. She is a major music, film producer, artist, actress, and she's got a show coming up here in April on the 2nd. And it's going to show at, let me see, I got this wrote down, at the Mac Avenue. Two shows, 3 o'clock and one at 5:45. I am in the movie. Yes, yes, I am a drug addict. So you all, I know you all love me out there. So for all of y'all that really love me, you want to see Dr. Woods down for real, come and watch this movie. Because I am in that movie um, as a drug addict, and it's all about mental illness and the awareness of mental illnesses. And so it's a spectacular movie. And I got a chance to see what happens behind the scene. And you know, the great thing about movies is that you do your part,
Mhm.
but there's so many other parts to the
Yeah,
movie, and you don't get to really see it
right.
until it all comes together and you watch it for the first time together. So I am anxious to see all the other pieces to this movie. And I just, I wanted to say to you, you all are a very talented family.
Thank
And
you.
I'm so proud of you, especially coming from Chattanooga. It's always great when people leave Chattanooga, not even just leave, stay or come back, and they've made it big in Hollywood. I don't even say Hollywood, just anywhere in the world now. Because
Surviving.
I went to Hollywood. There's a whole lot of acting going on in Hollywood. So it's always great when you come back to your hometown and visit a little old place called WPTP Radio 100.1 FM. And because I feel that when you do that, you're saying, Chattanooga, I made it, but I still love you. And I still remember where I come from and who I belong to.
Right.
And for that, I thank you for stopping by. You have made my day, my week. And you want to give the closing remarks to our audience out there who are listening all over the world. They're listening because we are national and international, and we're local. Um, and you can go to our website at WPTP1001FM.com, and you can listen to us anywhere in the world 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We play jazz, inspiration, gospel, and some old R&B, classical mix stuff. And we're on Facebook. All of our shows are shot here and recorded here live. And you can always go back and watch any of our hosts, our shows on our Facebook page at WPTP 100.1 FM radio. And we are so technologically savvy that we're also on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, WPTP 100.1
That we're
radio.
also on YouTube.
And guess what? We're also on Twitter at WPTP Radio Chat, CHATT, and we're on Instagram at WPTP Radio Chattanooga, spelled all the way out. So you all, we are doing the thing here in this city. I am so proud of our staff. I have to give great thanks to our wonderful staff, Robin Rose, who's handling our boards, to Mr. Slyman, Michael Simon does all of our social media, our website ministry on our website pages. He put our websites together. We have two websites, WPTP1001FM.com and also APDC98.org. And that's our nonprofit uh, parent, I guess you would say, of all of our organizations that are housed up under the umbrella of Autumn Park Development Corporation. And that's where you can go and donate to keep. If you like what you see here, if you like what we're doing, please donate to our cause so that we can continue to bring you wonderful programming through WPTP Radio. We have a 48,000 square foot facility that's Black owned and operated for the community that has an event hall here, a thrift store, a dental mercy clinic. We have a couple of nonprofit organizations that are doing things for the community. The American Legion, the Veterans
Okay.
Association, and we're working on some others. We have a computer center out here and a sewing and quilting program. We just got a lot of things out here, and we praise the Lord for putting us in this position where we can serve our people and give them something to grow from. So I thank you again for all that you do, Victor, in our community. Please don't forget to come back by and see us when you're in Chattanooga. We want to put you out there. We're going to play your music.
I'm not gonna
Yeah, we're gonna play your music. So y'all put that down. You're gonna definitely be hearing Mr. Victor Cotwell, especially on his new album release, Can God Trust You? Go out there and buy it today, download it today, and I'm sure you all will be blessed. And if you all are, today is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday, please find a place to go to go worship and if you can't worship in person, you can always worship from your living room and from your bedroom virtually. But if you need a church home, you're always invited to come to Greater Emmanuel Apostolic Church, located at 400 Tunnel Boulevard, where our pastor, Pastor Paul Warfield Jr., is our pastor. Please come out and visit us. And if not, New Monumental, which is the church that your father
once passed.
once
Yes.
pastor is one that's also available for you to go visit. So we're gonna end the show right there, and we're gonna give us some good music. So you all listen. Greater Tucker, Greater Tucker. I'm sorry, Greater Tucker. Where you at, Greater Tucker? Where you at? All right, Greater Tucker. And the pastor over there at Greater Tucker, Reverend Gary Hathaway. We love you, Gary Hathaway, Pastor Gary Hathaway. That's a wonderful church. I got a lot of friends that go there, a lot of friends. And I know you all do great things over there too. So until next week, we will see you on what's happening in your neck of the woods and be blessed.